Greetings, movie fans. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski with Omniplex Cinemas. My name is Owen Doherty, and I come to you bearing devastating news.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that. After last week's super-duper high of having the band all back together, I'm afraid if you look over there, we only have our bass player, Rory, look there, Rory Cashin, bass.
Myself?
You, look at yourself. We have our triangle player / person who sticks a flute up their nose, Paul Moore. Why are you just staring at me like that?
Can I do this episode entirely mute, except for that sentence and that one and this one now?
Okay, yeah, that'll work well. But unfortunately, we are down Justine Stafford, who again has been struck by the curse of the Big Reviewski. Now,
I've got theories.
Conspiracy theorists out there.
The monkey from Outbreak got loose in this studio and started just like
Worse.
Really
Worse.
Worse than the monkey from Outbreak?
Marcel?
No, not quite Marcel. Marcel was a hoe. What's
your theory?
I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a minute.
Not yet?
Yeah, no.
Not yet. Okay.
It's a builder.
So if you'd like to get in touch to tell her, one, with Justine, that she's lying and she's not actually sick, or if you'd like to send her some good wishes, that'd be nice too.
Or the cure.
Or the cure. Or send her drugs. Just send her drugs to Justine's house, Knobber.
Oh.
Like, that's a place, not an instruction. What were you saying, Rory?
I was like, maybe don't tell people on the internet to send people drugs.
Don't. For the record,
Legitimate ones.
do not do that. Across the counter ones only. But yes, so you can tweet us at Big Reviewski, or you can get in touch with us on Instagram as well. Now, we have a double helping of amazing Hollywood superheroes for you this week. Actually, one superhero and one super villain. We have the stars of Shazam, Zachary, Levi, and Mark Strong.
It was I felt the exclamation.
I committed to it. So they're going to be coming up later on in the show. Plus, I know we've given away some brilliant prizes. Obviously, our Omniplex tickets. We have had the Captain Marvel signed poster, our Creed 2 signed poster as well. But over the next couple of weeks, we've got a very, very cool prize. It's a single pair of tickets to go and see Avengers Endgame. Like one pair of tickets.
So 2 tickets.
So 2 tickets, one pair, not for 3 people. And yes, so stay tuned to find out how you can win those tickets as well later on. But now though, it's time for the big question on the Big Reviewski. And for this week's big question on the Big Reviewski, it's over to
the space where Justine
the ghost
would have been.
Where Justine would have been, RIP. But Justine, look, she's right here.
Hello lads, I am talking to you through the Big Reviewski screen. This is a pretty big moment, so I am enjoying this already. I'm sorry I can't be in the studio this week. I am still ill from last week, but I thought I'd keep on the hat in Big Reviewski tradition that I'm always wearing my hat. So the big question on the Big Reviewski I have this week is, following on from Rory chatting with Colin Farrell last week about the last film that made him cry, I want to know, what is the last film that made you cry? And Rory, I'm hoping you actually have an answer for this and that you're not just, unable to cry at cinemas. For me, the last film that made me cry was A Star Is Born. I'm quite frankly still not able to talk about it. It really shook me. I was as shook as a hand at mass after that film, and I just did not see that ending coming. I don't want to give away any spoilers if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go see it, but be prepared, bring tissues. I was in the cinema and the whole screen at that moment, there was just a and I was just not able to stop the flow of tears. So I had to run straight for the bathroom in the cinema and leave the person I was with there, they were gone. And I was inconsolable, honestly, it lasted a good week. And then it was around the time that just come out, so the song Shallow was on every radio station, and every time I heard it, I was again reminded of that moment and severely triggered. So yeah, that's the last film that made me cry, and quite frankly, I'm still not okay after it. That's probably what's causing the sickness. It's just, I'm not okay. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the show, and hopefully I'll be back and still in one piece for next week.
Thanks, Justine, for that message, which is the longest message in the world. Thank you.
It's lengthy.
Your beard has grown more in that time.
I've had 2 birthdays since. But just like I know that just like the person holding that camera is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, is this your theory?
Yeah.
Okay, so Justine's
She's
not
not
actually
here
sick.
because no, she probably is sick.
Okay.
But I'd say it's, you know, when you're sick and then you pass it on to your loved one, and then you get better, and then they're sick and they pass it. Just the two of them, because they're spending so much time together, they're just constantly passing it back and forth.
So you think that Justine has diseased the Rock, and he's sitting there at home with her in Nobber.
Fermenting
in
in
that front
Nobber.
room. So a couple of digs there to you as well, Rory, because after last week's, somebody was watching last week's episode and they were like, I presume Rory's not going to be on the show because he died last week.
From the burn.
From the burn that Justine issued him with. Of course, she was saying that you were there to see the original Dumbo in 1941 at the midnight screening.
Yeah, when her video message began.
Did you spend the week thinking of a comeback? Like if I said it there,
that video one was
moment?
pretty good. That was pretty good. But yeah, so you were unmoved by as they attempted to pull on your heartstrings in Dumbo. So I was wondering, as Justine was wondering, like, has anything ever moved you? Have you ever shed a tear?
Yeah, like I've said before, The Star is Born brought me to tears. But like I think, one, I knew she was going to say A Star is Born, and 2, I felt like I've talked about it too much lately about it being like the film that made me cry.
Are you going to cry
I'm
now?
gonna cry right
What's
now.
happening now?
So, because I remember working in the office with Justine in the weeks after A Star is Born came out, and Shallow would come on, or just some random track, even the sexy one would come on, and we'd be like, like just in tears. But yeah, so I decided to just go a little bit further back to a film that actually made me cry more than A Star is Born.
Okay.
And it was Paddington 2. Yeah.
Paddington 2 is such a lovely, fluffy film.
I know.
Wasn't it? You're like,
That
we should
was-
win every Oscar.
We should win all the Oscars.
Best actress, Paddington.
Best
Actor.
crying,
Yeah.
everything. So our, because Paddington and Paddington 2 are near perfect films.
Yeah.
So what was it specifically about Paddington 2?
Bit towards the end, like Justine didn't want to spoil anything. There's a bit towards the end of Paddington 2 where like there's an action-y climax moment
Casino Royale
involving.
rip-off.
Yeah, it actually was a rip-off of Casino Royale, but he's in a train, and I think it's Sally Hawkins is in the scene with him, and it's just like, I know it's not a real bear, obviously, but the looks that the two of them are giving each other, I was like, oh no! And I could just feel it like welling up for the longest time, and then there's a specific moment where the dam broke, and I was like, no, I'm out. I'm emotionally out for the count.
And have you gone back and watched that again, or is it too raw?
I feel like it's a Christmas film. I don't know why. Is it? I don't think it's set at Christmas. I think the first one is.
Is it summer? From what I remember, it is kind of a bright, upbeat film, isn't it?
It is, but there is something lovely and like familial
Also,
and warm
Ben
and
Wishaw's
cozy.
voice is so wholesome.
Yeah.
That like you think he's like, you just want to cuddle the voice because he's so like warm and approachable. And like even when he's in that Jeopardy, you're still like, oh, he can't. He's too nice. He can't be there. You know. It's like, dude, he's an actor. Like he's doing a job. Yeah.
Yeah, he only got it because Colin Firth was fired, I think. Halfway through it.
He was like he felt like he wasn't the right voice for it, so he was fired. Definitely.
Well, whatever the truth is, he is not the voice.
He's
of
not the voice
Paddington,
of Paddington.
And,
But Ben worked out really, really
Hugh
well.
Grant was bloody brilliant in that film.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
in
that
that.
was
That's
like the
what I'm
last
saying. He
great
should have won
thing I remember.
Best
Hugh
Supporting
Grant.
Actor
Yeah.
and Best Supporting Actress for all his parts in that. Oh yeah. So Paddington
Take more
2.
awards away from
And it's got
women.
And it's got Brendan Gleeson. So yeah,
And of
it's got
course,
Brendan
Knuckles
Gleeson.
McGinty.
Yeah.
And loads of marmalade.
And huge amounts of
crying
marmalade,
already at the
which
thought of
also makes you very upset. Yes,
Just makes my
okay.
tummy upset.
Okay, so Paddington 2, great shout, fan of that.
Thanks.
Paul, another like Heart of Stone, I would say.
It's called Completely Dead.
Completely dead.
Like dead to the
Because
core.
as you said, Justine took her roughly a week, she reckons, to stop crying after A Star is Born.
Like I had breakups that I got over quicker than that, like, which is pretty mean.
So
But,
I can big shout out to all Paul's exes there. Clearly did not make an impression. So I presume this is your one then.
For two different sets of trauma. One,
Is this one of your exes? Is
yeah.
that the
Okay,
name
so
of
I dated Sigourney Weaver.
So
Never
for
been a monster called?
yeah. So for everybody who's listening to the show, Paul, your choice is?
J.A. Bayona's A Monster Calls, which is a lovely little fairy tale for two reasons. One, he directed a DVD, which I lent to you on my first week in Joe 5 years ago.
He directed a DVD.
no.
He directed a film. He directed a film, which I lent to Owen, on DVD. The Orphanage,
I have
5
it somewhere.
years ago.
It's in alphabetical order on my list. It's on my
you even
DVDs.
watched it yet?
No, but it looks good on my shelf.
Which, yeah, so I'm emotionally scarred from not having that for 5 years. And also in terms of a film, A Monster Called is absolutely beautiful piece of work. Has a fairy tale quality about a young boy who has to deal with being bullied in school, played by actually Lewis McDougall, really good child performance. And his mother, who's played by Felicity Jones, has cancer. So he has to come to terms with finding his place in school, also this life-shattering news, and the kind of estranged grandmother, Sigourney Weaver, kind of comes back in and they don't have a good relationship. It's just beautiful. It's like Pan's Labyrinth in the sense that how it mixes the fantasy with the real world, in that what you think are these elaborate lessons been taught by the monster, voiced really well by Liam Neeson, have a real significance to his everyday life. So it's like how to come to terms with grief, how to, accept the inevitable, and all the fantastical lessons are very personal and intimate. And by the end, there's a scene with him talking to the mother in a bed, and it just break your heart completely. So just like even like Edward Scissorhands, Pan's Labyrinth, stuff that seemed really far-fetched just seems to kind of get me more than stuff like A Star Is Born. I don't know why. Maybe I can't emote to normal people. I have to think of gigantic trees and people with scissors for hands.
Yeah, it's Liam Neeson. That's it. He makes you cry. Yeah. So it's big trees that turn into. He makes a lot of people cry. But yeah, I remember actually whenever A Monster Calls was released, and you had gone to see it to review it, and I remember you saying actually just how beautiful and brilliant a film you thought it was. It's a cracking choice.
It's based on a book that was written by an Irish author. I could be wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's an Irish a writer. The name escapes me, but I'm pretty certain it's based on that. So, yeah.
Cecilia Ahern.
P.S. I love you too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. P.S. Monster Calls.
Jared Butler is the tree and the boy and everything. Yeah.
Not two really like strong emotional choices there.
I know what you picked.
Do you know what I picked?
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 5, is it?
What did I pick?
See, you mentioned it.
Oh, did I?
You have said it in like recent episodes.
Okay.
So it's
So this is
I'm going to take it. Is this something to do with fatherhood, maybe?
fatherhood, everything.
Yeah.
so
it is. Fatherhood's going to trigger.
Yeah.
So it is Star Wars. It's Empire Strikes Back. So
and father of the year himself.
Yeah. No, so the question specifically is, what is the last film that like kind of? I love that both of yours are years ago.
No, yeah.
Or well, no, yours is last year.
Mine was like 1962. Probably.
My one is a lot more recent than that, and it was actually released this year. I remember again like heading along to it was the Omniplex in Derry and going to see this film. Okay, well, what do you think it is?
Beale Street.
It is Beale Street.
Hunter Killer.
Yeah, so it's Beale Street, and so this was Barry Jenkins' follow-up to Moonlight, If Beale Street Could Talk, and I remember going to see this, and obviously you had reviewed it on the show, Rory, and had loved the film, and I was dying to see it.
Visual poem.
A visual poem? That's right. That's what you just said. I can't believe you said that. But it's a visual poem.
So glad I wasn't on the show that week.
I forgot about that. Why did I forget about that? That's going to make me cry again. But yeah, so not only is the film just like stunningly like put together, all the performances, the story itself, and it's probably just gone out of cinemas, or you might be able to catch it in different places around the country. So if you haven't seen it yet, like do try and go and see it. But it's more so the soundtrack of the film, because I've been obsessed with listening to the soundtrack, and it's whenever I'm like, honestly, there's a particular piece that was used in the trailer originally, but then is used in the film and kind of goes through it. And the soundtrack is it's written by a guy called Nicholas Britell, and he's worked with Barry Jenkins on his other film as well. But there's a particular track called Agape, and it's like as amazing as the film is as well, it's like literally it's the first chords of this piano piece start. I'm just gone, like ball and gone. So here's
can we get it pumped into the screen? Into the room?
Like, I just need to grab some
That's
tissues.
emotionally torture.
This is a little clip of the trailer, but this is it's using that part of the soundtrack. Okay, I'm sorry in advance.
You ready for this?
I've never been more ready for anything in my whole life. You know I love you, no matter what happens.
I'm yours and you're mine, and that's it. You and me all the time.
Honey, there's something I gotta tell you.
We are drinking to new life. Tish gonna have Fonny's baby.
I hope it's a boy. Come on over here, daughter. You're a good girl, and I'm proud of you. Don't you ever forget it.
And who's gonna be responsible for this baby?
The father and the mother.
When I hold you in my arms, I gotta hold our baby in my arms.
We'll find a way.
So everyone thinks that clip has just finished, and we've just listened to it. This is actually 5 hours later. I've only just stopped crying.
Makeup is back on.
I've reapplied my makeup. My mascara is all gone, so I'm okay. I've got it together again. But yeah, it's just a stunningly beautiful piece of music. So go and check it. I'm gonna WhatsApp it to you straight afterwards.
You're gonna watch
I'm not going to give you a
I'm going to
tissue.
send you the link to the song.
Oh yeah, do.
Yeah.
So he can laugh at you.
So
while
you can
cry.
laugh at me. Yeah.
Show the emotions.
What a loser.
Ew.
It's a song, idiot.
But yeah, so that track, Agape, just breaks my heart every time. But what soundtrack did you say yours?
I was saying the piece of music that was used in Man of Steel's first trailer, which actually featured in Lord of the Rings, Howard Shore, you know, when Gandalf falls in Moria. And they
Oh,
had the,
yes.
the haunting kind of chorus stuff.
Yeah.
That's the piece that always gets me.
Yeah. And you said your one was, this is like an additional big
The
question.
Fountain. I can't remember who the composer was now. Oh no, I think it was Cliff Martinez
Oh, right.
for Aronofsky's film. But there's a bit of music that's used towards the end when all the three stories kind of intersect, and it's very powerful on the screen. But even just listening to the music alone, it's like my throat is closing. It's too much.
I've never seen The Fountain. It's good.
It's good.
Okay.
It's very. It's actually a little bit like Beale Street. Like you need to be like in the right headspace for
Okay.
it.
Rachel Weisz is great.
Yeah, because it's Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz, isn't it? Yeah.
So emotional
check
after
that
this
out.
segment. We need to
I
move
know,
it on.
exactly.
Yeah,
Okay,
feel things again.
okay.
Yeah, I don't like this.
I've got a feeling that we might need some tissues or something to hide behind. I know all the used ones from, so many used tissues around the studio from all those emotional film moments. But now it's time, I know I'm going to go up the ways.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the big trailer on the Big Reviewski. And Paul, it was your choice.
I'm just going to go for something to terrify you, Owen, because I know you're emotionally
That's
vulnerable
why I'm
right
saying
now.
I need the tissues again.
So I'm going to go the opposite. So you're feeling weepy now, and you'd be terrified. Maybe you're terrified and weepy. I don't know. So we got the first look at the third installment of the Annabelle horror franchise, which looks very, very good. Strange enough saga in that the first one I thought was terrible in terms of the Conjuring universe. And the second one, I went in with very little expectations. I think Miranda Otto was in it. And it was actually surprisingly good. And also, this saga kind of speaks to me because my sister used to collect porcelain dolls, and whenever I had to go to school to wake her up in the morning, they'd just be staring back at you, and she had like 100 of them. 100. She still has them. She's like, I'm going to keep them because she wants to give them to her daughter. But like they're still alive.
Why does she not like her daughter?
They're still alive and they're still present. So yeah, creepy dolls.
Could you steal one from your sister?
I'm not touching them. They've no soul. They'll steal my soul.
Can we come to your house and say, we could have one here in the studio?
You want some bad juju on you?
I think we should have an Annabelle doll in here.
Have you not seen these films?
So this is you said it's part of the Conjuring universe, and obviously we've said it before, said it again, Irish audiences love horror films.
But this is a bit different because it actually incorporates the Warrens, which we would have known from the
also
standalone.
the Conjuring 3.
Yeah, it's the Conjuring 3 / Annabelle.
Right, okay.
But we're also getting the Conjuring 3 too, which is a bit confusing.
Okay,
score
so
was
wait. So there's the Conjuring 2 have both been
Yeah, the
out
Conjuring
and
3
done.
is coming.
Conjuring
It's coming.
3 is
Coming.
Coming in. The coming.
Annabelle
1.
And Annabelle 2
Annabelle
are out.
Creation, and now
this
we've
is
got...
this is Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah.
And then we've also had
With
Nun.
the Warrens.
The Nun.
Yeah.
The Crooked Man is on the way.
Okay, and
The Curse of La
La
Llorona.
Pera de la Flinte.
So there's
Yeah,
loads of
whatever.
films in the Conjuring universe.
It's up there now with like the MCU.
yeah, exactly.
But this is James Wan's baby.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep making them.
So this is a little clip of Annabelle Comes
And
Home.
before we got to the clip, the director of Annabelle Origins,
Yep.
directed Shazam.
Shazam!
Oh, there you go. Nice tie-in. Linked.
Aren't you happy I interrupted you now?
Yeah. Can we go to the clip now?
I mean,
Please.
I'm out of
Here's
facts.
Annabelle Comes Home.
Everything you see in here is either haunted, cursed, or has been used in some kind of ritualistic practice. Nothing's a toy. It's safer for these things to be in here than out there. Sometimes it's better to keep the genie in the bottle.
Don't your parents keep any creepy stuff around?
We keep it all locked away in a room so that we're safe. It's not really good for anyone to go in there.
What'd you do to get in there? I like your doll.
Okay, Paul. I'll admit you were right. I was weepy beforehand, and I'm just
Give me
terrified.
back my DVD. I'll stop doing this to you
Stop
then.
punishing me.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, again, it's the whole thing of you can see the jumps coming a mile off, yet they still get me every single time, even in the trailer.
You all right?
Not really. No, not really. It's like the bit where she's lifting up the covers and all, and you're like,
See,
Yeah.
okay, so that bit, right, that's fine. This girl here, who goes into the room after the woman told her not to go into the room.
There are like 90
and there's a
locks on
huge
the door.
sign saying, do not open this.
Yeah.
And what did she do?
Needs to be bigger.
Own. What did she do?
she touches everything.
She brought this on herself. I've no sympathy for her.
So Annabelle Comes Home. When is it coming to Omniplex cinemas?
This summer.
This summer. Okay.
We'll elaborate.
2019.
Yeah.
28th of June.
28th of June.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. So we can nice, happy, summery film.
Exactly.
Cannot wait. Happy days. Speaking of nice, happy, summery films.
Oh,
it's no
segue.
real link. It's not really.
Segue alert.
Yeah, this isn't one of them. No, now it's time for our Shazam interviews. So yeah, Rory, you were chatting to obviously Zachary Levi.
Do you want to do that again?
Go again.
Yorgos Lanthimos.
Well said,
Zachary
well said.
Levi. Am I saying it wrong?
Zachary.
What am I saying?
Zachary.
Why am I saying
He's not a
Zachary?
biblical
I don't
character.
know.
Yeah.
Zachary.
Zacharias.
Zachary Levitt.
Zach. So you were chatting to Zach.
Oh, good old
and
ZL.
Margarai Strong. And then who else was there? There was also
The director, David F. Sandberg, who directed Annabelle Creation and Lights Out. And producer Peter Safran, who seems to have just worked on a lot of James Wan's movies.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it was a real pleasure to talk to Zachary Levi.
I don't know why I'm calling him that.
Because he is a gent, first of all, and just super nice and just really, really like one of the most energetic people. Even like I felt he was annoyed that he had to sit down because he was like, I have to run around the room. Like he just seems
like he's
really
That's
happy.
perfect casting, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it seems like he's just a big kid, basically, like, as you said, perfect casting for the film, and that he's up for the crack all the time.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to, we were like, we don't want to do just a regular interview. So we were lucky enough to come up with something kind of different. And we quizzed him on his superhero knowledge. So in Shazam, he plays the grown-up superhero version of a young boy. So we showed him loads of images of famous people when they were young and asked which superheroes did they all grow up to be. And he was annoyingly good at it.
So super talented, super friendly, super fun.
And
Super name.
Super name as well.
Yeah, Zachary.
So just before we see your interview with him and quizzing him on those his superhero knowledge, here is a little clip of
Shazam!
If you could have one superpower, What would you pick?
Everybody chooses flight. You know why?
So they can fly away from this conversation?
No, because heroes fly.
What, you need your fake family to stand up for you? Hey! Man, sorry about that. Go, go, go! Grab it! Get out the way!
Billy Batson, I choose you as champion.
Hello?
Say my name so my powers may flow through you.
But I don't know your name, sir.
Shazam.
Wait, for real?
Say it!
Okay! Shazam?
Here we go.
Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. Congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.
I don't want to oversell it, but I loved you in it.
Thank you.
I thought you were fantastic.
Thank you.
And every time you laughed, I found myself laughing as well.
Awesome.
Now, hopefully, this will also be as joyous an experience. Instead of the usual interview format where I ask you about your role and stuff, instead, Billy Batson grows up to become a superhero.
Yeah.
Right? Essentially.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to show you is a series of photographs of young actors who went on to become superheroes or supervillains.
And I'm trying to decipher who those people are.
Exactly.
Yes!
Now, you don't tell me the actor's name.
Oh.
You tell me what superhero or supervillain they grew up to be.
Okay.
Got it?
I'll try my best.
Okay. Now, the thing is, of the boats show you, and hopefully the camera will see it as well.
Yeah.
So, I got this right?
Well, if you put it like right in front of your chest.
Oh, yeah, that should work.
Yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Margot Robbie. She is the best. That is Venom, because that is Tom Hardy.
Yes, I also would have accepted Bane.
Oh, that's right, and Bane as well.
Yes, so,
I
multiple choice.
forgot.
He has two.
Batman.
You have to do them all.
Oh, come on, Batman. It's almost like Dr. Evil. How dare you, Batman?
I've never heard Bane compared to Dr. Evil before,
I mean,
but now that's all I'm going to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
He looks so thin and like.
Well, this is like
what a
back
yo-
in the day with
what
the
a
David
young-
Beckham hair.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's a look.
Mm-hmm. It's a look.
Uh,
Well, that would be Mystique,
Mhm.
because that's Jennifer.
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
I was just
She looks exactly the same. I don't think she's aged
Yeah, well,
today.
she's still pretty young. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
she's
fair.
got youth on her side.
She's got her whole life ahead of her. Yeah.
Well, that's Superman. That's Henry Cavill Superman.
When he's not being a sweater model.
When he's not being a sweater model, exactly.
Again, looks exactly the same.
He does. He actually looks very similar. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not kicking ass in Mission Impossible with Tom. What have we got here? All right.
That would be Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Yes.
So many people got caught on this one because he doesn't have his hair and beard.
Yeah.
It's a real throw off.
Yeah. I mean, well, but he's still in there. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you just
he's
have to,
still
like,
in there. But look
mentally
at
block out.
all sexy. I think that was on Baywatch or something, wasn't it?
I'm guessing from the shorts, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Where are we? Right. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Getting a little bit trickier now.
Oh,
Little
like
bit.
tricky. Well, that's Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, what a baby. Look at that. Miss Israel, was she like an Israeli
I think
fashion?
she was
or
up,
like
she was up for like Miss Israel.
pageants and stuff? Wow.
Yeah, so we've only got like I think 3 left.
Okay,
Right?
let's do it.
So you see a perfect score so far.
I'm great.
Right.
I'm right on top of it.
Careful now.
Be careful
This
now.
this is
Bride
tough.
cometh before the fall. That's Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
That's the one that got everyone.
Yeah.
That got everyone. Okay.
Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
You're
I'm really good with
good at-
faces.
you're
I'm
really
really
annoyingly
good
good
with
at this.
faces.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just. And Christian Bale Batman. That's it. That's all you got. We don't have any more.
This is the toughest one. Now, it was a photo taken of him at age 4.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready. I have no idea. Jason Sudeikis? Is that Ed Helms? Paul Rudd, Ant-Man.
The eternal Paul Rudd. He will outlive us all as Ant-Man.
Probably, yeah.
Zach, that was exactly as much fun as I'd hoped it would be.
Nice. Awesome.
Congratulations. 10 out of 10.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Well, I've said it before, Rory, and I'll say it again. You're not a liar.
Oh.
He was super friendly.
You have also called me a liar before that.
I know, yeah.
So, play the tape.
Yeah. Here's a clip of me just saying, Rory, you're a liar. Over and over again.
He's super duper friendly.
But he seems like he could have just stayed and played that game or just talked to you like all day, basically.
Yeah, or just like he probably would have wanted to go out and do something outdoorsy. Which,
You're like, no.
That's the effect Rory has. I'm sure it's just
want
Rory
to leave the room and go running through the field.
And he aced them all. Completely nailed them.
I put those pictures together and even I was like, I'm not sure that's actually them. But yeah, he's remarkably good. I think maybe he had like an earpiece in and someone's like, it's Brie Larson.
We're Google imaging it. That was the tough one because that stumped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whenever you were testing people with it, but Brie Larson, because she looks like Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah,
from
she
years
does.
ago. Yeah,
she does. But
well-known superhero Lizzie McGuire. Yeah,
but he had the crack and he enjoyed the Paul Rudd reference.
That was very funny.
So,
but it is true. He has made some kind of deal with the devil where Rudd just does not age at all.
And Keanu.
Keanu,
just the two of them will just be them and the cockroaches at the end of the world.
At the end of the world, which is coming pretty soon.
Any day now.
Yeah. So, as well as the hero, you got to chat to the villain.
Indeed.
And Mark Strong, and we've had him. Been fortunate enough to have him on the show for a couple of releases before.
Kingsman, I remember chatting. He's
Kingsman,
lovely, yeah.
That's right as well. And ages ago there was Grimsby as well. Whenever, which is like, ooh,
let's
watch out for that one. Yeah, but obviously back for Shazam, and there's a brilliant joke in the trailer where Shazam picks up a toy Batman, and the toy Batman has a voice in it. It's like,
get him, Batman.
it says, I'm Batman. It's like, get him, Batman. And he just throws him at Mark Strong, and Mark Strong's like, get out of my face. But yeah, so how was he to chat to?
Lovely. Yeah, lovely. He didn't break the rule that I'd heard about people who are great at being bad tend to be really nice in real life. Which is why you're so nice in real life.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. So wait, what?
Now you're lying.
Because as you said, because there was, who did we have recently? And there was someone else who was like playing a really bad guy, but then they were just really incredibly friendly as well.
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember.
It was Mark Strong. Here he is.
It does seem like it is more fun to be the bad guy, and I'm sure you would agree with that, would you?
I think so. I mean, I think they get fantastic costumes. They get the best lines.
Yeah.
They get to explore the dark side, which is not something that we get to do in everyday life. So in a way, it's kind of quite cathartic. I get to do that and then go back to my normal life.
I remember a few years ago, Anthony Hopkins talked about the effect Silence of the Lambs had, where people were literally afraid to talk to him.
Right.
After they seen him, people had like an idea of who Anthony Hopkins was based on who he played. Have you had any odd interactions where people are like, "That's that guy who's evil. I'm afraid to talk to him in real life."
I don't know if they're afraid. I get some funny looks, on the tube. I can see people thinking, "I know that guy from somewhere," and it's not good wherever I know him from. So I get that occasionally, and also when I got together with my wife, I remember her family at the time had only ever seen me in movies, didn't know who I was, and they were really worried about her that she'd got together with a complete psychotic.
People just can't differentiate the real world. But like, they also say that the people who play the best bad guys are the nicest people in real life.
Okay, well, I like to say that that's the truth.
Okay, then. Yeah. let's follow with that then.
Rory, I've said it before and I've said it again. You're not a liar. He's how many times have I called you a liar now?
Matrix here, is there?
Very friendly, Mark Strong. You can see the rest of that interview. It's up on Joe.
Yes, yeah. He talks about his time on the Guard, and he talks about the difference in flying in this movie than flying in the other DC movie where he was a bad guy, Green Lantern.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that he was in Green Hornet. Why am I saying Green Hornet? It's not that one.
Lantern.
Green Lantern.
I literally just said Lantern.
Did you say Lantern? Who was Green Hornet? Oh, that was
Ryan
Seth
Reynolds.
Rogen.
That was Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, Christoph Waltz.
Was
That was
Michel Gondry direct that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Sweet Lord. Two messy films. But yeah, so you can check out the full interview up on Joe, but now it's time for the review. What did you think of Shazam?
It's good. It's good. Like
Yes.
it's
Shazam!
it does kind of nail the tone of like part Superman, part Big. Where the plot is essentially a teenager in an orphan's home. Not an orphan's home. They don't have any homes.
Foster home.
Foster home. He meets a wizard who gives him special powers, and that's him growing up. He's Zachary Levi, and he's basically Superman, but he's also got like some of Thor's lightning powers as well. And in the comic books, his actual name is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, you were
but
saying
they can't use that because of Captain Marvel, so now his name is just Shazam. And it's the message of, you know, using your powers for good and not just for yourself. Not be so selfish just because you're in a position of power.
Nice.
I wonder where that came from.
Never heard that before. No power, no responsibility.
So yeah, it's really, really funny. It's got some very good performances. Zachary Levi's great. Mark Strong's having a blast as the bad guy. All the kid performances are great as well. The action's there's not much of it, and when it does arrive, it's not all that great. The CGI isn't great either, and for the last like 20 minutes, it just kind of descends into every superhero movie where people are punching and stuff is exploding, and it's just like, well, now you're just actually Superman. So it's much better when it's being Shazam, and not as great when it's trying to just be a superhero film. But for the time that it is Shazam, it's really, really good.
I'm delighted that he seems perfect for the role, but actually delivers on it as well. Because again, from watching the interview, he seems like it wasn't too much of a stretch for him, like in terms of his actual personality.
Yeah.
And then again, just the delivery in the trailer. Just there's a lot. It's a very funny trailer as well.
I think that's important as well because DC, liked them or loved them, they did need something to lighten the tone after like Batman vs Superman was super dark, and like Justice League just was the same. Aquaman was obviously went the completely opposite way, but I think maybe like in terms of a comedy, I think they sort of needed something like that. Like Marvel, their tone is light. Some of them are like straight up comedies.
See, yeah, you're right, but I think all of the Marvel movies are starting to feel the same. It feels like that every one of them has the exact same tone. Like it's a little bit light, it's a little bit action. It never ever goes too dark in any direction. Whereas it does, well, I guess we will see, but like it does feel like DC are now like, right, we will actually try to make each one of these feel different, because 45 seconds before we started recording the show, the Joker trailer dropped.
Yes, I know. And we say this every week, just as we're about to record, there's a brand new trailer. And this week it was Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, and the tone of that is super dark. Like insanely dark.
Yeah.
But it seems appropriate for that.
But,
whereas that tone for Superman, no, it doesn't work.
I also loved in your interview you said that there was like one or two moments that are like genuinely traumatic for kids to walk into this film.
Yeah. Like the director Sandberg,
Good,
like he's
'cause you-
still.
We love
You hate
trauma.
kids.
Yeah.
I hate kids.
hate kids.
Love traumatizing
Love
kids.
traumatizing
So,
kids.
yes, like Sandberg, he does lean into his horror CV a bit for one or two of the scenes where Strong and his henchmen are like showing off what they can do. And there was one scene in particular where it was like, oh my God, if any child comes to this, they're going to cry. And it's like, good.
we need more like Joe Dante stuff in like modern stuff like that, you know?
If DC, if you're out there, if you're listening and we want to see that shared universe, Shazam and Joker, get the two of them. Shazoker. In the one film. So we take this tone, take Joaquin Phoenix, and just kind of mix the two of them together. I'd watch that.
I'd watch it.
Isn't I don't
know if it would be good.
Isn't friend of the show, The Rock, the Black Adam, kind of sort of in this universe?
Lover of the show.
Didn't you ask the
It's a
director
lover
about
of
him?
one of the people of the show.
Isn't he kind of linked into the universe of Shazam?
Yeah, like my interview with the director and producer is also up on Joe, and I asked, because he is executive producer on this one, and there had for years been talk that
he was
going to be
Shazam.
No, he was going to be Black Adam, which is essentially just the evil
Who was
version
played
of
by
Shazam.
Ryan Atkinson in the old TV series.
That was the longest silence we've had
pause.
in all of this show.
I thought that was a good
Congrats,
joke.
Owen.
Did you?
I did think that
You've
was...
broken the big Reviewski.
Yeah, sorry. I feel like we need to... do we need to
Do
say
we have
what it
another
was?
film we
No.
can talk about or what?
No.
Yeah.
Don't say it. Okay. So Shazam
don't go back
definitely...
to the well when you poisoned it the first time.
So this is a thumbs up. Go see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
And a thumbs down for you.
Thumbs up. But give me an X on your card
Yep.
there, will you? One of the other big releases...
Minus numbers for on now.
One of the other big releases this week is, again, starring Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly. It's an adaptation of the Patrick DeWitt book. A couple of friends who absolutely love the book. I don't read them. Wise up. It is...
I'll go to the cinema.
Yeah.
If it's good, it'll be turned into a film. And you're right.
Yeah, I'll wait for it. I'll wait for the film. But this is The Sisters Brothers. Let's take a wee look.
We're the Sisters Brothers. Sisters. Like sisters. We're looking for a man named Warm. He stole something from our employer. We have enough money to stop for good. Stop what? Killing people. Yeah, right.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away.
Do you realize that our father was stark raving mad and we got his foul blood? Our father drank, Charlie. Touche.
The Sisters Brothers, again, super...
title.
But that's the name of the book.
I don't care. The book then had a terrible title.
I keep
I think
getting
it's
it wrong.
a sitcom. Every time I hear it, The Sisters Brothers.
Would you watch a sitcom with Joaquin
No.
Phoenix and John C. Reilly? No,
No.
not at all. No.
No.
And Riz Ahmed's in there as well.
And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right, what's it all about?
John C. Reilly and Joaquin Phoenix are the Sisters Brothers. Their surname is Sisters, and they are brothers. So,
Great title.
I explained it well, I think.
You fold fast in the Superbad on laundry day, you do.
They are sent by a Commodore in the Old West to find Riz Ahmed, who may or may not have discovered a chemical compound that can easily find gold in riverbeds. And Jake Gyllenhaal is actually the guy who has to find Riz Ahmed and then keep him in place, and then the Sisters Brothers will show up, get the formula, and kill him. So they're like just guns for her. But it turns out they're actually like quite sensitive souls, even though I think over the course of the film they kill about 40 or 50 people. So like, they're good with the gun, but they are like very sensitive and they have a tough past, and they really do love each other deep down. So it's just the story as they travel towards something that may or may not eventually tear them apart completely.
Yeah, so John C. Reilly, I think, was a huge fan of the book. Don't know about the title, but definitely of the book. And it was his production company who got the rights to adapt the film, or to adapt the book into the film. So, yeah, as you said, Paul, you can just wait. If the book's good enough,
I want to
turn
see
it into a
this
film.
desperately because of the director. I love Jacques Audiard stuff. He did A Prophet, which for me is the best film I've seen in the last 10 years.
Did you cry?
No. I have a guy getting like slit with
the razor.
That sounds pretty sad.
Yeah. So just because A Prophet is French prison drama.
Yes, I genuinely think it's a stunning film. And he also did another great French film called, I think, The Beat That Skipped My Heart with Romain Duris. He's a
I'd
really,
see that one.
yeah,
I
he's a
think-
really
did he
good
do
director.
Rust and Bone.
Yes,
where
he did.
Marion Cotillard gets her legs eaten off by a whale.
Yeah, and like usually I only watch films with like monkey knife
That's not a
fights and
spoiler.
explosions.
That happens in the first few minutes.
It's a very start.
But no, I love Audiard stuff, and like I was raging that I didn't get to see this.
Well, it's coming to Omniplex near you.
Omniplex cinema, so you can
But I didn't
definitely
get to see
go
it
and
for
see
this show, but I will see it next week.
But yeah, cast all. Sweet.
Yeah, like it's great the first half where they're paired off separately and you see Gyllenhaal and Ahmed like interact, and then O'Reilly and Phoenix are great together, and then later on when the four of them are sharing the screen, you're just like, you're all great. You're all so good at what you do. And it's the trailer sells it as a comedy. It's got some dark jokes in it, but it's not something you'd be like, ha, that was a real good time at the cinema. It's a very well acted Western drama that has some dark, violent comedy in it. It is about 20 minutes too long.
Okay.
But aside from that, all good.
Okay, if only there was some way to see it, Paul. If only. Ah, well. So
you can always read the book.
Yeah, that's
And this picture.
I will bring the book, buy my ticket in Omniplex, and just sit there and read it.
Perfect.
While the
Okay.
film's
See the
playing.
matches.
Yeah.
So, The Sisters Brothers, it's coming out in Omniplex cinemas this week. And last but not least, our other big releases. If we didn't have enough scares already, here we go. Pet Sematary is also out, which was not a 1941 film, but it was adapted from the Stephen King book back in the
30 years ago this month.
Holy moly! So wait, that's the 80s.
89.
Still holds
89. Okay.
Look at you.
And
Nearly subtracting.
Nearly subtracting. Just guessing. So here's a wee scary look at Pet Sematary.
So many trees.
It's beautiful, right?
It's definitely not Boston.
Here we go. Okay, so what do you think?
Wow. This whole place is ours?
I even got him to throw in a whole forest as a new backyard.
It was a myth. Kids used to dare each other to go into the woods at night. They knew the power of that place. They feared it. Those woods belong to something else.
Yeah, so another horror, the second horror of the episode so far. I'm definitely going to need some counselling after the show. Pet Sematary, what's it all about?
It is about a family that moved from the big city to a very idyllic kind of countryside home that seems like it's in the middle of nowhere, except for the insanely busy road that it's on with that seems to be populated solely by huge oil tanker trucks that come along every few minutes. Nothing to worry about there, though.
That's fine.
The family discover that the land that the house is kind of on is also happens to home a pet cemetery, and then beyond that, their neighbour, who's John Lithgow, is like, no need to look beyond the pet cemetery. Nothing to worry about there either. So there's a lot of stuff to not worry about.
That seems perfectly
That
fine.
real estate agent did a great job selling that house.
Like I wondered, did they just not visit the home before they came and actually paid for it? So the family, as they move in first, there's like some stuff about the house that they're not fully happy with. And
the plumbing?
The plumbing, maybe? Sure. No, there's just some stuff that goes bump in the night, let's say, and they're like, it's probably it's the house settling and we're just getting used to it. That's fine. Nothing to worry about until lots of stuff comes up and they have to worry about it all.
Every single bit. Every time I see John Lithgow anywhere near a forest, I just think Bigfoot's in there somewhere, basically.
Go home!
Go home! Don't say that to
made me cry.
That was a heartbreaking one as well. So in terms of like, one, because again, horror aficionado, were you scared?
Yes. Okay, so the original movie came out in 1989 and it had a very kind of low budget, nasty vibe to it. It had some reasonable actors, like the guy who was Herman Munster is the neighbour, and Tashi Yar from like Star Trek is the mom. Like it's just random people in it, but it was it just kind of had like a video nasty vibe to it. I know it wasn't quite that, but there was something about it that was like, ooh, we shouldn't be watching this.
A bit dirty and a bit gritty.
Just a bit, yeah. And this one is like The Conjuring. It's very slick. It's like a roller coaster. Everything's precision. You jump now. So yeah, there's just something about it that was I'd wished. The DOP for this is the same guy who's the DOP for what's his name, Ben Wheatley.
Right. Okay.
If Ben Wheatley had made this film, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Instead, it feels very like
clean.
Yeah. It's 16s. There's no sexy time in it. It's the violence is there, but it's not that bad.
So you wanted it just to go that wee bit darker?
Just It just, like the frights are mostly from jump scares and that evil cat.
That cat is terrifying.
Cat.
They have no souls. Also, I've gotten so much trouble by saying that all cats are soulless bastards. People have turned to me, but I will stand over that until the day I'm gone.
Well, I'd say I'm highly allergic to cats, and I take that literally as like they want to kill me. They make me not be able to breathe.
Cat literally.
So if it nice, so Blackadder. If it comes down to me or a cat, like the cat's going to lose. Not encouraging. I'm just saying
that cat would kill you and everyone you care about. Like that.
Exactly, like that. And wouldn't give a
and it probably
shit
eat you
about
too.
it.
That's the thing.
True. Yeah. So Paul, you had seen the original one recently, and you reckon
cat
it's
scared the living crap out of me. I remember, and they were very good at like the jump cuts into like the close-ups, and the sound effects was quite good. Like they really
that was pretty good.
Very good. Yeah. That's,
Are you a cat?
That's Fiona in She Puts Us Together. That's a special effect. But no, I'm very curious to see this because like King's stuff has had such a renaissance now in the last few years. He said the success of it, and I really wishing it to do really well because I'd love to see stuff like Salem's Lot come back. Because Salem's Lot was one of the first horror experiences I remember as a kid. The show and the Stand and stuff like that. So there seems to be a massive interest in his stuff. So hopefully this does well, which I think it probably will. Like, then it might.
People love animals and people love horror films. So
and like it's horror, and it was cheap enough to make.
Like Clark must be good. He's usually good and stuff.
Oh yeah, like he's good. The wife who was in other stuff. She's good too. The daughter's great. Well, I can't get into that, but she's really, really good. John Lithgow's good. Yeah, there's just. Do you remember the original? There was stuff with like Zelda, the sister.
Yeah.
And there's stuff with
the occult and witchcraft and all that stuff.
They just feel like they were leaning heavier into darker stuff in the original one. Like Stephen King himself said, Pet Sematary is the scariest book he's ever written.
Really?
In his opinion. So yeah, for a film like this to be like, yeah, that was like a good haunted train ride, but you're not going to go home and be like, ooh, I'm scared to go sleep with the lights off. It's not that, and it should have been that.
It definitely will be that for me.
Yeah, it will.
Definitely. So that's a really good selection of films out this week.
They're all good.
Yeah. So Pet Sematary, The Sisters Brothers, and Shazam. So 3 crackers to go and see this week. Again, if only there was some way to be able to see them.
And somewhere to see them.
And somewhere to see them. So those are our big reviews for this week, and now it's time for our big competition. We said we have this single pair of tickets. These things are going to be like gold dust to get a chance to
Willy
see
Wonka's
Avengers Endgame.
Actually, I would be pitting my mates against each other, like to see what can you like pitch it to me why I should bring you to see Avengers Endgame.
Definitely.
What will you give me?
Which reminds me, we had we had it up on Joe there. Omniplex have announced that they're actually doing a really cool double bill, Avengers double bill in all their cinemas across Ireland, and so they're going to be showing Avengers Infinity War the night before.
So it's Thursday 24th at 8 p.m.
Yeah,
so
at 8 p.m.
And then Endgame,
and then midnight screening.
So you've got a little break there to empty the bladder, refill the
grab
Coke,
the popcorn,
get the snacks,
and then you're straight into midnight screening of Avengers Endgame. So you can head over to
maybe take that Friday off.
I think so, definitely.
Take the whole week.
Yeah,
go watch it again.
Yeah, but if you head over to omniplex.ie, you can get your tickets there for that amazing double bill. But for one lucky winner out there, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be giving away this pair of tickets. And in order to win, you have to get the correct answers to our high clues. And we'll have more details up on Joe Twitter and the Big Reviewski Twitter and Instagram as well, and up on Joe on the website as well. But first of all, congratulations to all the people who got last week's correct answer. We were giving away tickets for people to go and see Shazam. So that included Conor O'Carroll, Blocking Wilson, Barbara Coster. So loads of winners there as well. And their high clue was, here we go. We'll take a look at it. It's Reporters a Friend, Angels Rung Up and Strung Up, Crafty Killer Shot. And so Actually, Paul, you guessed it at the end of last week, and drum roll, the answer was... Oh, thanks for the drum roll.
It's a Scream, baby!
It was Scream. So, do you want to break down the hint lasagna? Serve out a couple of slices of it?
Well, reporter is a friend, so the reporter in the film is Gail Weathers with David Arquette. He's cameraman. A friend, Courtney Cox was obviously in Friends. Angels rung up and strung up. The rung up and strung up, I presume, is Drew Barrymore at the start. Rung up and hung up. Angel kind of threw me.
She played one of Charlie's Angels.
You're right.
In the release, so...
You're right.
You are correct.
So,
he hasn't always been right.
He's also been right. As well as us being right. With a different answer.
And the crafty killer shot, the final scene, he was shot dead.
Yes.
And the Craft, is he in the Craft?
He's not in Nev
Campbell. Nev Campbell's the Craft.
Yes.
Which is being remade.
The one who shot him.
Yeah.
It is. So that was it. Angel, you're right, was Drew Barrymore rung up on the phone and strung up because she's all like, and she also gets strung up by the killer on the tree outside her parents. And then Crafty Killer shot, as you said, that opening scene.
When she's on the phone and she can hear her own daughter.
Yeah.
It's the guts hanging as well. Like, it's so visceral.
Completely disembows her.
Love Scream.
Crafty Killer shot, you're right, Nev Campbell is the link to the Craft. And then Billy, he's the crafty killer because he ropes in Stu, the other guy. And then
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. And he is the killer is shot as well.
And nice time. I think Rory described Shazam as the Scream of superhero movies. Am I right? Correct in saying in your review? So there you go.
Nice link. All planned.
Hint lasagna's coming together.
Definitely planned.
Another layer in that lasagna there, lad.
So now it's time for your first high clue in over the next couple of weeks.
We use our alter egos. What, Porty Passion, was it your one? Or
it's Corey Ration.
Corey Ration. He's got a voice. He speaks like
voice.
this. Yeah.
And my own us person.
Like
Paul.
Moore.
Yeah.
Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul, whatever, yeah. Can we do that?
No.
We can't go? Oh, crap.
No, not allowed. So this week's high clue, normally Justine is here to Carl Vorderman it up and count the syllables. So we'll go freezing green Christmas, Princess Mary banks on him, deadly balloon show. So freezing green Christmas, Princess Mary banks on him, deadly balloon show. Syllables are right for a start. Hopefully the details are correct as well. But yeah, anything springing to mind there? Anything jumping out?
Just that I want those.
all anybody's thinking about.
Endgame tickets.
Everybody just wants the Avengers Endgame tickets. Oh, there's going to be, somebody's going to love them. I can't wait.
Two people are going to love them.
Two people are going to love them. You just save both tickets for yourself.
You could all your friends and just bring no one.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, who is on my enemy list?
It might be easier than having to pick one person.
Yeah.
Just go on your own.
Say you won.
Yeah.
Who would you bring between the two of us?
Who would I choose between you? I think that's about it for this week, folks. Yeah. We'll just wrap it up there.
We're going to go kill O.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, coming up next week, Wild Rose, which has a brilliant Irish connection because the star of the film...
Jessie Buckley from... Ireland.
From Ireland, yeah, that's
BAFTA
the place.
nominee for a Rising Star, wasn't she, this year?
As well.
Yes, yeah.
So, Jessie Buckley, she's going to be on the show. And we're also going to be speaking to some lad called Kevin Costner.
Never heard of him.
No idea who he is.
Never won an Oscar or anything like that, no.
Yeah. So, of course, I forgot about this. Kevin Costner won...
2. He won Best Director and Best Picture. He would have been producer for Dance with Us, so he got 2.
Wasn't that the one that beat Goodfellas? And...
Yeah, it was,
yeah. Kevin Costner has a Best Director Oscar, which is insane.
The Postman, man.
The Postman.
Open Range was pretty good too. I had a time for it. He did 3 films, I think.
So Kevin Costner, Jessie Buckley, the second part of our Avengers Endgame giveaway as well. So get that first part and stay tuned for next week for the other one as well. Hopefully, who knows, Justine, if the drugs that you sent her, please don't send her drugs, have any effect whatsoever.
Or she could just stop making out with The Rock for 2 seconds.
Stop going with him. Stop shifting him. So that's it. Anything else to
Yeah, who's going between us today?
Yep, no,
who
we'll
are you
get back
picking,
to that. We'll see you next week, everybody. Thanks, Rory.